Go. Okay, so last time we were here, we began our look at the gradient. And remember that another word for gradient is what? Slope, exactly. Okay, so we defined the slope as the rise over the run, right? So we're going to count up, or does it always have to be up? Down. If it's up, it's what sign? Positive. If it's down, it's what sign? Negative. Good. And then we can either go to the right, which would be what sign? Positive, or to the left, which is what sign? Negative. Right? So your slope can be either positive or negative. But you're always going to know by just looking at the line. If the line is going up from left to right, then it's going to be what sign? Positive. If it's going down, then it's going to be negative. So you have lots of clues there, lots of visual clues for working on that. Well, the lesson we're going to do today, you're going to see, looks very much like what we did last time. To kind of get you back into the swing of it, we're going to be looking at the same idea. They think it's a little different because they're using, remember they had you go in one unit only to the right or left. But remember we talked about the fact that you can use any points. You're just going to get a fraction, rise over run, but you make sure that you don't leave that fraction without simplifying it. For example, if you end up with 6 over 3, would you leave 6 over 3? No, 6 divided by 3 would simply give you a slope of what? 2, right? So you have to reduce or simplify the fraction. And that's the only thing that's different about today, okay? So let's go to our lesson. So we can see. So here they give us a graph, and we have our graph, and all we need to do to calculate the slope is simply count from one point to another. And you've noticed they've given us some points. So let's go ahead and use those points. Remember that it's rise over what? Run. So I'm going to start at the bottom point and count my way up to the top point. So starting from the bottom, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gives me a rise of 6. And from that point, I need to go to the right 3 units. Pretty ironic. That's the one I just gave you. And 6 over 3. Is that the way you'd leave it? No. Nope. 6 divided by 3 gives you a gradient of 2. Okay? Now, what if I wanted to put that 2 as rise over run? How could I make any number and look like a fraction? There you are. You could put it over 1 to make it look like that, right? We wouldn't leave it as 2 over 1, but we know that 1 is there. Yeah? Okay? So, how does that look? Good. All right. Now, be careful. If you don't count rise over run, then you're going to get the wrong answer. But I do want to show you this. What if I had decided, let's just change our color here. What if I had decided that I wanted to count from this point, let's call it A, down to this point, B? Could I count it down and still get the same answer? You bet. It makes no difference, but you've got to watch out for your signs. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, which gives me not positive 6, but what? Negative 6. And then it's 1, 2, 3 to the left, which is not positive 3, but what? And then a negative divided by a positive, negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 6 divided by 3 still gives you 2. So do you still get the exact same answer? Yes. Right. Yes, because they were only going 1 unit, whatever you got they were only saying that. So, for example, if they were going from here to this point, that's only 1 unit over, and then so you went up 2, so that meant they give you a slope of positive 2. So they were kind of avoiding the rise over run situation. I didn't like that much, so that's why I went ahead with the rise over run, because that's the way it's done when you move, if you're moving from different points. So because you can't always count 1 unit. Say that this one over here. Let's say that's going through that point. Well, if I go over to the right 1, is this line meeting at the intersection point? here? No. So I would have to go over more. And so that method that they used won't work then. But the rise over run method will always work. Okay? Good question. Good observation. Very happy about that. Okay? Now, so today's lesson, all you're going to do is to do more of the same. You're just going to be counting, but make sure that you're counting, right, from your rise first and then the run, and make sure you're remembering your signs if you're going up or down. Okay? And that is all that your assignment is today, just to get you kind of back into the swing of it. Okay? So I'm going to put this assignment up, post this assignment for you. I want you to work on them in class so that we can make sure everybody's on the same page. This is a very important idea, because if you can read those, count those numbers and read that gradient, then we can answer lots of questions using that. And that's what we're going to go to. We're going to in the end. So we're going to be looking at lots of questions for them. Any questions about this right now? Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to pause the recording.